Grace Under Pressure. Hey, Andy, what are your views on the interview assignment that's more like unpaid consultancy work than a brief assessment? Okay. This is what I think. And I'm going to try to give you a couple variations here because this is really good. Okay, folks, and Grace, I wish I knew which Grace you were. I wish I knew specifically what your job function was and how high a level you were in the organization and what you're interviewing for. So here's how I view assignments. Now, number one, I have no problem with organizations that want to give you a little homework assignment. Why would that not bother me? So for those of you that follow me a lot, what do I always say? I always want you to take all those behavioral interviewing questions, the questions about your pasts, the tell me about your stuffs, the walk me through your resumes and all that stuff. And I want you to move it into their future, right? And like, how would we handle that in your environment? Do you have a case where I could address that and so forth? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a video out there on the number one interview tip that'll get you hired. And I talk about this because when you get into the future, it gives the interviewer a much easier way to see how you would actually operate in their environment. If you don't do that, they have to interpolate that. And usually they don't interpolate correctly. Most interviewers think their environment is the more difficult environment to operate in. They just do. So they say, well, you did okay over there, and that was a fine answer, but I'm really not sure that you could do it here. So moving in the future helps them see that more clearly. A case study or an assignment is even better because now you actually have a chance to think it through. You can show your work, you can walk them through how you would do what you would do. Now you're, okay, so I love it. Now you're getting into, okay, well, this is going to take me a long time. Then it's a question of, do you want the job bad enough? Do you have the time? Can you make the time? Right? So that's up to you. So you could decide if you want to do that. Then the question becomes, okay, well, what if they take my work and they go off and they implement it? To that, I would say, I'm going to use myself as an analogy. You know all this stuff that we do every week? You know all those videos I put out for you? You know those training programs and everything? Do you have any idea how easy it is for anybody who's a career coach to just go grab it? That's right. And I don't worry about any of that stuff. And why don't I worry about any of that stuff? Because they don't see the invisible work that goes in it. They don't know exactly why I do things the way I do or what I tell you the way I tell you or all the history I'm drawing on that makes the masterpiece a masterpiece. It's all the invisible work and it's me driving it, okay? So if I handed a strategy of how to be a career coach to somebody else, I would not be worried in the least that they would benefit from that other than they would have an outline of what they would do. And what's going to ultimately happen for them is they're going to make all the mistakes that I made probably 10 times over, and they're not going to know how to recover from all of these things. Right. So if you go put something together for them that is an assignment that is a part of an interviewing process, I wouldn't be worried in the least. If it's, hey, we want you to actually do work for us, like stuff that is immediately usable before you ever get hired, then I would start questioning that. Okay, so it's different to say, well, hey, Grace, how would you run your first 90 days on the job to build that unit? That's an assignment. Right? What would that plan look like? Hey, can you put a presentation together of how you would grow the marketing team? Hey, could you put a presentation together to tell us how you would recruit all these players? How would you, all that stuff to me is okay. So not knowing exactly what this is like, if it truly is like work that they're going to benefit from, like it's truly free work, that's pretty damn rare. And I will tell you this. I, as a recruiter, okay, now we've placed 600 and some odd people in my lifetime. The number of people that interviewed for us, right, many, many more, and the number of people we interviewed, and the number of people that we submitted to our clients that had assignments and all that good stuff. I have never, not one time, zero, ever seen a company give an assignment that they could actually take and use effectively if that person was not hired. Okay, so I would not be too concerned. You're probably making a bigger deal out of it than it is. Those are my thoughts on that. Is a phenomenal question. It really, really is. This is one we definitely want to cut up and circulate, because this is a great question. Grace, I wish you a lot of luck. I would not be worried. And so my final word to you is, if you really want this job and you love the company, I would do the assignment and I wouldn't bat an eye, and I'd throw my heart and soul into it. I'd give them everything I got, and out it goes. That's how I feel. I really. And you know this, not to get too philosophical. I mean, where whatever you focus your energy on grows. If you're going to be worried that they're going to use it, you're going to half-ass it, and it's not going to be effective, and you're not going to get the job. If you feel like, no, I'm going to show them what a badass I am, and this is what you got to look forward to, you're going to get hired. All right, I hope that helps. That's a great question. Dang,